Thanks for tuning in to watch The Ordinary Filmmaker. It's Saturday, October the 2nd, 2021, and I've got some great news. Well, I've got news for those interested in the Sony a7 IV. Previous rumors stated that we're getting an announcement between mid to late October. Well, Sony Alpha Rumors has given us an update saying that it's still scheduled for late October. However, it's up in the air. It's not 100%. And this is coming from Sony Alpha Rumors. They didn't specify what source. They just said that their source. So we're left kind of wondering how validated is this? Is it coming from a really good known source that's very accurate? We just don't know. And we shouldn't really be surprised. I'll talk about availability shortly. We shouldn't really be surprised. Up until recently, we keep hearing about the chip shortage. But it's not just about chips. You see, when you've got a shortage that's affecting the entire planet, it starts a domino effect. So yes, there's a chip shortage, there's a component shortage, and there's also a material shortage. On top of that, your channels of distribution are affected. Trans-Pacific shipping is affected. Airlines are affected. Trucks, not enough truck drivers, not enough containers for the ships. You see, it's starting to create a really dire situation. And not only that, people who are in the field are working crazy hours. They're getting tired. They're getting frustrated. There's talk of strikes. There's talk of all sorts of labor shortage issues. So I don't see these issues going away anytime soon. And what I talked about previously this year is I said, I don't think this is going to resolve itself until 2023. That means 2022, we're still going to have issues with shortages throughout all supply chains. So when is the a7 IV going to be available for sale? Well, Sony Alpha Rumors says December. But they also say it's not going to be in huge numbers. Just like the Canon RF. Remember that camera? It came out, and even a year after its release, it still suffered supply shortages around the world. Well, the a7 IV is going to be available for sale in December, but in limited quantity. And if you really, really want this camera, and even if you're kind of sitting on the fence and not sure, as soon as it's available for pre-order, go ahead and punch that pre-order button. Again, you don't have to take delivery, but go ahead and punch that pre-order button so you can get yourself at the top of the queue and hopefully get it before the end of 2021. Most of us, if you're interested in it, most likely not going to be able to get it until in 2022, and I imagine sometime between January and March. And it is sad. I know that Sony makes a lot of the components, but like a lot of the rest of the world, they don't produce in a bubble and ship in a bubble. It's just the way the world is right now. We don't have any more news in terms of specifications for the Sony a7 IV, but rest assured, I have no doubt that this camera is going to provide 4K 60. The rumor did say 7K oversample 4K. We'll just have to wait and see about that. And of course, it's supposed to have a 33 megapixel sensor. This is going to be a really, really good stills hybrid camera. Sadly, though, I think it's going to cost right around $2,500. I do hope that Sony doesn't go quite that high on it, because I think at around $2,000, it's got the perfect price point. It's expensive, but it's not super expensive. It's not up there like an Alpha 1 or an a7S III. And with the video specs, I think the video specs are going to be good enough on this camera that you're not going to see yourself needing to go to the a7S III if you're a video shooter. The only thing that I think we really have to really pay close attention to is where does overheat kick in, because all cameras this size are going to have overheating depending on the ambient temperature and all that sort of stuff. The a7S III does a really good job, and you really have to push that camera to get the overheat. So hopefully it's at least like that. All right, now for the next news item. Nakashita reported that Canon's coming out with a 5.2mm f2.8, and this was just a couple of days ago. And I saw the announcement just an hour after Nakashita put it out. It's around 10 o'clock at night, and I thought, you know, this isn't that big enough of a deal for me to go out and put out a video. I checked all the other sites, all the other information, checked my email, and there was nothing else. So I thought, you know what? You probably don't care about this, so I'm not going to rush downstairs and create a video and get to sleep late at night. If it was bigger, I would have done that. And I'm glad I didn't. The next day, really, there wasn't much news, so I didn't do anything then either. I just completely didn't do it. And I thought, you know, I'm not going to ignore this because I like covering lenses. I'm going to wait until we have bigger news, like today talking about the a7 IV. Well, Canon Rumors updated this the following morning and said that, and gave us the full name of the lens. It's going to be the Canon RF 5.2mm f2.8 DUal Fisheye, and that it's going to be primarily used for virtual reality. So, not doing any virtual reality? Well, I'm not. You're not. Then yes, we can turn the page on this one, and let's go on to the next piece of news, which, unless you own an Nikon, you can probably switch off right now. And Nikon has gone ahead and discontinued 3 f-mount lenses. Not surprising, really. Canon's discontinued a bunch of EF lenses in a marketplace that is projected, based on SEPA numbers, to reach 7.11 million units shipped, not sold, shipped in 2021. It's not surprising, with the market shrinking as much as it is, that companies are looking at what isn't selling, discontinuing, and culling the herd a little bit. And there's a lot of EF lenses to cull. Well, Nikon has a lot of F-mount lenses to cull too. Basically, mirrorless is here to stay. Mirrorless is where cameras are focusing on. And if you still like DSLRs, I would just buy on the used market, because you're going to see the supply of DSLRs and their lenses to be restricted even further. But without further ado, what lenses were discontinued, you ask? I'm glad you asked that. There's the 105mm macro, the 12-24 DX, and the 80-400mm have all been discontinued. And basically Nikon has said to their dealers, don't even try to order them anymore. You're not going to get them. So this is kind of a sad thing. It's the same when Canon discontinued some of the lenses, the EF lenses, because I grew up with DSLRs. I still have a DSLR. There's one right here behind me. And I like the technology. It's just, I guess, it's a reflection of me getting older. And as you get older, sadly, things get discontinued, product lines change, new companies come onto the scene, other companies exit. And with these 3 lenses, I think it's a smart thing to do. Nikon needs to focus on the Z mount. They need to focus on the Z9. Where is the Z9? We don't know. And where's the R1 from Canon? We don't know. And the big problem is, because of everything that's going on in the marketplace, we're not getting nearly as many rumors as we used to. It used to be anything that Canon was doing, it was getting leaked. Lenses, no problem. Bodies, no problem. Changes in marketing strategy, no problem. In fact, marketing from Canon was leaking. I mean, look at the beginning of 2020. They leaked their 8K cinema cameras. Well, we didn't know it was Super 35 or full frame, but they put out a full video on their YouTube channel, leaking everything. Those days are done. We're lucky to get development announcements or an actual announcement no less than 12 hours ahead of a product launch. Look at the R3. 0 rumors anywhere up until about 12 hours before their announcement. So maybe the R1, maybe the Z9 as well, and maybe the A7 IV. All the rumors we're getting about the A7 IV, I take them with a huge grain of salt. I don't hear the words that this is validated from a known source. I don't see all the words I normally do on Sony Alpha Rumors or Sony Rumors, and a lot of people will knock these sites for not being accurate. But if you read between the lines or read what they actually say, is when they're sure about something, you'll actually see confirmed from known source or trusted source, something to that effect. And a lot of the rumors on the A7 IV don't say that. And what that tells me is that it isn't really leaked information, it's projected information. It's what people believe Sony will do based on past performance. I mean, that's what we do when we forecast things. We look at past performance in order to predict future performance. So that's when I say, take it with a grain of salt. When I hear about 7K oversample 4K, let's wait and see if it produces that in the camera. I mean, it goes back to last year when the rumors about the A7 III abounded. When it finally came out, about 60% of the rumors were correct. And I'm not trying to put water on your fire to put the flames out, just saying, don't get super excited here. It is coming. The long wait is over. We might have a few more weeks or a few more months, but it is coming out. There's definite need for it. We just don't know what's in it. Oh, and one last thing, one very, very important thing. Please go ahead and click that subscribe button and like. It's just right there. Just reach over to it. Believe it or not, that has a huge impact on my channel. And I don't ask for any paid content. I don't sell you anything. You get to watch this free, except for those ads. I know they're annoying. Trust me, I do. Sometimes Google will, or YouTube will put them out every 5 minutes or so, and that's ridiculous. But it does help this channel. It allows me to buy new gear, new lighting, new cameras and lenses. So please click that subscribe and like button because it helps this channel grow. It feeds their algorithm. But that's all I have to say this morning. If any other news comes out, you'll be the first to know. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you again soon.